Hi and welcome back to Biz Jet TV. Fab Poli here, and today I'm going to talk about why it's healthier to fly by Biz Jet than flying with the airlines. Now, first of all, you control your time, and this is a big thing because you've all been on flights where you've been sitting around at airports for 3 or 4 hours because the flight's delayed, get on the aircraft, get the other end, connecting flight, that's been delayed. And by the time you get to the other end, you're really, really tired. And so being able to control your time where you decide when you're leaving and you also decide from what airport you're leaving, because the other thing is sometimes you get to your destination and then you have to actually travel from the airport to your actual destination, maybe 2 hours by car. So you've had all that horrendous journey by air, and then you've got this other horrendous journey of 2 hours to get to your final destination, when guess what? There's actually a smaller airport 5 minutes away from your meeting venue. So with the private jet, you really do control your time. And if you control your time, it's going to allow you to be a lot more rested and fit and ready to get into action when you get to the other end. So this is number one. Number two is the cabin pressure. Now, a lot of people don't know that airliners are pressurized at about 8,000 feet. Now, this is obviously means that it's like sitting on the top of a mountain. So that obviously has an effect on your body because your body's going to have to use a lot more energy to keep all your vitals going because it's sitting at 8,000 feet and not at sea level. Now, with the private jets, you'll find that a lot of the cabins of the private jets are pressurized anywhere between 3,600 to about 4,500, even 6,000 feet, but a lot lower than the airliners. So if you've got one of these new modern private jets where the cabin pressure is like 3,000 to 4,000 feet, 5,000 feet, and you're doing like a 10-hour journey, when you get the other end, you're going to be a lot more rested. In fact, a lot of people don't know that. They think that jet lag is caused by time zones, but often enough, it's the actual air in the cabin and the pressurization which causes that drowsiness. When you get on the other end, it takes you a few days to get over. So cabin pressure is really, really important. Also, the cabin air is another factor. A lot of people don't know that air is actually coming from the engines. And it's recirculated into the cabin. And the air is also very, very dry on an aircraft. So that element also doesn't play into your health either. So one thing you can do on a private jet, for example, is first of all, the cabin is going to be lower altitude. And the other thing you can do to make sure the air is clean is to use a diffuser with essential oils. Just be very careful which essential oils you use. Make sure that they are pure and they're not synthetic. And see what combination you can have. So maybe consult an aromatherapist and that. See what combination of essential oils to use in your cabin. And a lot of essential oils can also be used to calm passengers. As we know, a lot of people that fly by private jet or fly in general are a bit nervous flyers. So the aromatherapy can really help to calm you down. And if it calms you down, it reduces the stress and improves your health. So there's another reason why you need to fly private. And also the food. Now, there's been a lot of talk in the media lately about aeroplane food. This is the reality of aeroplane food, and I did talk about this also in my book, which you can see here, Health for Flyers, where I explain that aeroplane food is cooked about a month before, and then when they cook it, they put a lot of chemicals in there because at altitude, your taste buds actually change. So they put these chemicals in the food to make it taste nice, because something that tastes in a certain way on the ground will taste different at altitude. So they put these chemicals in it. They then cook this meal, then stick it into a freezer for about a month, and then they pull it out the freezer, put it onto the flight a few hours before, and then it gets heated and then put on your plate. So my question is, what is the nutritional value of this meal when it lands on your plate on the airplane? Which, if you fly once a month, isn't a problem, but if you're flying regularly on a weekly basis and that, you're going to be eating these airplane meals a lot, and that's going to rub off on your health in a negative way. So on the private jet, the great advantage is that a lot of the times you can order from a restaurant. So you get your chief flight attendant to go out to your favorite restaurant in London and order your nice Chinese meal or Japanese meal or whatever you fancy on the day, and they'll bring that to the airplane, and it's properly made, none of these chemicals, and it's healthy food. So salads and nice big large salad. You never get a big large salad on an airliner, but you can order a nice big organic large salad on your private jet. So you control the food, and so that's another reason to fly private, because that, especially if you're flying a lot. And then last but not least, you also, to a certain extent, control the health of the guys up front that are flying you. So you're going to hire these pilots. You can hire non-smokers. You can hire guys that don't drink. So you know they're not going to be drunk. And then you control also their roster, meaning how often they fly. Now, as you've heard in a previous video, a lot of accidents these days are caused by pilot fatigue. Now, the airlines are flying them from a legal standpoint, according to the legal schedules and that and duty times. But often enough, these guys have worked a lot and they're tired. And when people are tired, their performance goes out the window. So you'll be able to control not only your health, but also the health of the guys up front. Bearing in mind that they also can be eating the same food you're eating, meaning they can order from a restaurant and have decent food and not airplane food to eat. So that's going to have a positive effect on their health too. Same with the air and all the other things I talked about, and also controlling the time. They won't be, sitting around for delays and whatnot. So big thing here. Number one, you control the time. Number two, the cabin pressure is low on the private jets. In the cabin air, you can control that. You can use some aromatherapy essential oils to make the air purer and healthier for you. And you also control the food. You can bring your own food, or you can alternatively order from a nice restaurant and your cabin crew can arrange it for you on the flight. And last but not least, you control also the guys up front which are flying you around. So these are all reasons to fly private, and that's all from Fab Poli on this episode. So please just want to remind you here, please share this video. Comments below. Any questions, any suggestions for another video? I'd like to hear from you. And that's all from me now, and I'll see you on the next one.